It's never changed. It's never changed. It's the same thing over and over and over and over. It's just never good. It wasn't funny the first time.
Toucher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Hub.
All right, welcome back to the show. Toucher and Hardy. Michael Holley, Andrew Callahan here. The entire station, Andrew. Everybody's in Canton. That's the place to be. Canton is the center of the universe today, as far as 98.5 is concerned, because that is where the Who's Your Caddy Classic is taking place. It is at Brook Meadow Country Club in Canton. And we have told you that we have some mystery guest. Well, the mystery guest really wants to be a mystery, because Ryan was telling me, hey, we're trying to get this mystery guest, and we cannot locate the mystery guest. The mystery guest is sometimes wants to pick up the phone, or sometimes, does and doesn't. And should I go on the air? Should I not? So that the mystery is really playing out here.
This could not be more on brand for the show. I think this is perfect. Our Toucher and Hardy insider inside the Who's Your Caddy Classic. All money going to the Special Olympics, Massachusetts. Great event.
Yep.
Very
awesome
excited
event.
to hear about the guys.
Awesome.
We don't want to hear about the charity, though. You and I are here for the gossip, and I want to hand out some superlatives for best dress to, longest drive to, best. We've been talking a lot about glue guys and chemistry with these foursomes. Like, I don't know. Is there any rivalry down there? Like, all these things I would love to know, boots on the ground.
Well, there's a rivalry there because I'm sure there's station rivalries. We have station rivalries, right? Is there rivalry within the station? So like some, not to the dysfunctional point. Well, maybe it is dysfunctional, but I'm sure like every workplace has rivalries, right?
Yeah. Well, I want to just hear an update from the course, see how that plays out, and of course, we need a verdict from this mystery guest who might not be qualified to determine our 98.5 the Sports Hub draft. What would you do if you were down there when you don't play? Like, would you just jump in anyway, take some celebrity shots? You know what I mean?
No, I wouldn't. I think nobody wants that. I think what I would do is because I love to do, it's just going to shock you. I love to talk, so I would just go down there. I would just talk to different people. I would. I'd ride around. I'd be the driver. I'd drive the cart.
I like that.
That's cool. Get some food, get some drinks.
If Rick said we need you to be the cart boy, the cart man,
yes,
you would hand out drinks.
And I wouldn't even be offended if he said cart boy. I mean, it's just all context.
Did you hear the hesitation in my voice? I didn't want to do that to you.
No, that's fine. That's fine. No, it's all context. It's all context.
Context is key.
Context is big.
I mean, the first thought was cart girl. And I was like, we're going to take that off the table. But now we're down to two
I don't want to be the cart girl. I'll talk to the cart girl, but I don't want to be the cart girl.
Sure.
Okay. Cart boy, sure. Cart man's too serious. Cart man's too serious. If you're the cart man, you're like, hello, sir.
That's a doorman.
Yeah. Hello,
it's not
sir.
Door boy.
Yeah. It's doorman. It's very serious. Do you really joke? You ever joke with the doorman? Do you joke with the cart man?
But you don't joke with the bus boy.
It's too bad because sometimes you don't even acknowledge the bus boy.
That's tough.
Sometimes the bus boy probably feels like, I feel like I'm not seen. No one sees me. No one hears me. I'm doing this job. And it's that, you ever work in a restaurant, by the way?
No.
Okay. Me either. But this is where I'm going. I didn't understand until fairly recently that the whole operation, like when you give the tip, you're tipping the waiter, you're tipping the waitress, you're tipping this person, but it's generally, that's how I always think of it. Hey, give 20, if you really like it, 22, 25, 27%. But then they turn around and they hook other people up. I never really thought about that aspect of it. I always think, see, that's what I'm saying. We ignore the bus people. The bus people sometimes get their tips, if I'm not mistaken, from the...
I think it probably depends on the restaurant.
From the
Sometimes they pool it. But and depends on the waiter or waitress, right? Like maybe they hoard their tips. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be somebody you drafted.
Probably.
You would draft somebody like that who's not collaborative, somebody who's not really thinking about what it means to the team.
Felger.
So, well, you drafted him.
I did. Third round value, though.
Yeah, third round. Yeah, I guess. But I guess he's tradable, too, because I feel like you need to make a trade on your team.
Well, yeah, I need to offload the salary.
Yeah, it's not even a salary thing. It's just something is just not gelling with your team.
A lot of similar energy with him and Dondero. That's going to be a lot for Phil and David to keep their arms around. If it's not going in the right direction, but I'm counting on those guys being the best golfers on my team. Let me ask you this, though, the restaurant point. How would you, Michael Holley, have survived in a restaurant setting? Like, would you have been a good waiter back in the day?
Oh, my God, yes. Here's the problem. I would have been called to the office or called to the kitchen or wherever, and they would have said, you're talking too much. Mm-hmm. You're talking too much to the our people, and you're not getting enough done. You're not being efficient enough because you keep talking to them. We want you to get the orders in. Hey, where are you guys from?
Right.
Oh, is that right? That's the first time? Okay, all right. Hey, what's your name? Getting names, just talking to people, and just kind of, I think I would probably slow down the operation a little bit.
See, I would really need to do my work on the front end with that stuff because I know I would forget one small thing here or there. And then I'm going to need the goodwill that I banked early to make up for, oh, I'm so sorry, I was going to get you that basket of bread earlier.
Okay. Oh, see, this is a good point. Now, are you this guy? Because I'm always, I start off being impressed. No, I start off being skeptical. Then I'm impressed with the people who come up to you. So you got a table, you and 5 others. Hey, what will you have? You tell them what you have. Okay, and you give them very detailed instructions. Okay, I don't want the dressing on the salad. I want this off to the side. Mm-hmm. I know this steak comes with this side, but I want to sub that out for this. And they're not writing it down. Right? And they go to everybody and they haven't written it down. I'm skeptical at first, like, oh my God, they're about to screw this thing up. And then when they come back and it's right, I'm impressed.
And that's what makes me think I could never do that. Now that comes with reps, and I'm sure there's a memory association thing, right? Like, okay, he doesn't want salad, he doesn't want lettuce. He's bald, so the no lettuce man doesn't want lettuce. You know what I mean? Like, just who ordered what and why. That memory association probably makes it easier if you're not writing it down.
Yeah, but see, that's
or they're
the problem.
Just better at this. Because my memory, like, I'd be good with the speed of it.
I'd write it down.
I'd be good. And you know what buys you a lot of equity right
away?
away?
I'd have to write it down.
Is you're honest about the menu. Where they're like, oh, what's good here? And you're like, the fish and chips are okay. Like, just okay. But this is great. You know what I mean? When you're willing to be honest about certain things, or everything's not so hunky-dory. Little informality sprinkled in there. Okay, I can trust
That's true. Yeah, everything can't be great on the menu. Yeah. Now, you don't want to be so honest
that you get fired. You see the hostess you passed on the way in?
Hey,
before couple drinks in her, and she is a mess.
You guys,
what did you want to drink?
Hey, you guys have looked at the menu, right? Let me tell you about some specials. Now,
down the street, yeah.
This one, right? This one is $45, and I got to tell you, it's overpriced. Oh, I wouldn't get it. But okay, if you're really hungry, if you're really adventurous, maybe give it a stab.
How true is that, though, generally, when it could be a mechanic, it could be a waitress, it could be anybody who, like, on the front end is just going to tell you, this isn't really worth it. I wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? Like, just some immediate empathy and understanding before you're the salesman or the waiter, and I'm the person here coming to give you some money and receive some sort of service. Like, you're going to go buy something yourself for somebody else at some point, and you want them to be honest with you.
Yeah.
As the person doing the serving or the waiting or this, whatever it might be, fixing the car. So as soon as you come in and are like, yeah, we could probably knock this down. This probably makes more sense for you. And it's not the most expensive thing. I feel like that's the first step to actually doing the selling is the honesty.
Absolutely. The honesty. And then, you know what? It's also, I need somebody who has done it. All right, so you don't necessarily, I'm not saying because you work in a restaurant, you have to know how to cook. You have to be a little bit of a foodie for me. Don't work in a restaurant and you don't really eat there. You just work there, but you eat other places. No, I want you to know, the menu because you've eaten this stuff. So there's some stuff that you really like.
Yeah.
Hey, this is my favorite thing on the menu. Every time I get this one. And I get it, and a lot of people get this. hey, mac and cheese, not my favorite, but if you're really into it, but it has this kind of feel to it or this kind of taste to it.
Or I'm not a mac and cheese person, but other people really like it. So you're not dismissing it. You're kind of eating the blame for why you're not making the wholehearted endorsement. And actually, I take this back. My first job out of college, 3 months, may or may not have been under the table at a rare hybrid. Again, may or may not.
May not. Okay, may not. Or maybe. Was.
Indian restaurant that served wings.
Don't worry about it.
So I was ready for free and just would walk home with like a wad of cash. But during the daytime before doing deliveries, there was a buffet. It's like there's no selling needed. You're there. You're literally walking in, seeing what you're going to order. But I had never had Indian food before. The wings were actually pretty good and then would go back. But it was interesting because then you're doing a little bit of everything except for the actual waiting. So like when you first said, hey, did you work in a restaurant? Like, oh no, I wasn't busy in a kitchen and dealing with, guys who would just leave at a smoke break in the middle of service or something. I was just like delivering food, cleaning a buffet, mopping floors, and occasionally working the cash register.
And I did work at a restaurant, but I forgot about it.
Yeah.
I just remembered. You brought it up and I remembered. It was, I think it was my freshman year, college. I worked at a Pizza Hut Express. So it's not like it wasn't a, hey, can I take your order? Sit down. It wasn't a sit down place. It was a Pizza Hut Express on Wood Street in Pittsburgh. So I was working work the cashier and I had pizza and every night I'd bring home Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good experience. But I think that's better. I got no tips. It was not a tip place. They probably should have been. Because you ever get in those situations where you go, this person is really good.
Oh, yeah.
But there's no tip anything, no tip cup. I'm going to do something. But now they kind of beat you up over it. This was years ago when now they will just, nobody's even doing anything. They're like, okay, you just try to pay. I'm like, oh, we're going to ask you some questions before you pay. And the question is, what are you going to tip? Tipping for what? Why am I tipping?
Or how about this? If you are in a restaurant or a group that's 6 or larger, whatever, where gratuity is included, is it on the waiter or waitress to tell you, hey, by the way, gratuity is included before you get the final bill? Or should you know better because you're a human being, an adult who can just read a menu?
Yeah, I don't think it's on the waitress to tell you that.
But if you realize too late that you had double tipped, you're driving home, and you're like, oh.
But how could that happen?
I'm telling you, it does.
Has that ever happened to you? Where
yeah, I wasn't overly upset about it, but I was like, you know what, it would have been nice to know. Because if say, like 20% standard tip for me, if not more. And so if that is automatically included, I don't have to do the math or add on anything more.
Yeah, but I just can't imagine. I'm just so meticulous when it comes to like signing.
Well, you gotta come to dinner with me more often.
When it comes to signing, I'm like, I'm looking at everything. First of all, because I told you the skepticism, and you mentioned it earlier. As a reporter, you have to have a healthy degree of skepticism. That's part of the job. That's part of your mentality. It's an annoying thing.
How about it's just your money? So you're right to do that in the first place.
But you're overly skeptical. You're looking at, you're just paying attention to the details. So I'm looking at them like, okay, so yeah, I did get that. Yeah, I did get that. Ooh, damn. We got 3 drinks? Man, those drinks are expensive. You're like, oh yeah, you want another one? Sure, I'll take another one. And then you look at the bill and you're like, man, those are like 16 a piece. So I just don't think that would happen to me. But I'll tell you, this is the greatest tip story, not necessarily a story, but tipping example I've ever seen, I've ever experienced. Bill Cowher, former Steelers coach, current CBS analyst. Cowher was really moved by, as a lot of people were, when COVID happened and people were going out and still doing deliveries and all this stuff. He was really moved by that. He was really impressed by people who just go out there and were doing that job when a lot of people were skeptical or afraid to go out and wouldn't do it and just kind of sheltered in.
Absolutely.
So he got into this thing where he would tip excessively. So I went to dinner with him here in Boston. This is still during, this is right after so we're getting on the other side of COVID. 100% tipper.
Wow.
100% tip on the meal. Can you imagine? Can you imagine being like the waiter that night and you're just like, hey, you know what? What if it's going to be a slow night here? And you wind up with a 100% tip?
I tell you, I mean, he's not the coach anymore, but I would be pulling for the Steelers after that. I will say,
Yeah.
I can tell you this, because my wife and I just celebrated 30-year anniversary. We were trying to figure out.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And she was pregnant last year. So we're like, what did we do? We didn't like go out. Like, we actually did. Nice North End restaurant. And I'm going to get the name right and say it on the other end because I want to do this justice. But the waiter happened to listen to the podcast that I had. And so he very graciously took some items off of the menu. And so I was like, well, look, I'm not going to tip 20% of what the bill is left. So we'll just do the 100%. And felt really good about it. And it was very kind of him to do that. Didn't have to. Very small place. And I said we'd be back. And I still have yet to fulfill that promise, but I can't wait to return because the service was outstanding.
He said,
This is what happens when my wife is pregnant, can't drink, and then I'm left with a bottle of wine, and we just have to, someone has to celebrate.
we told him we'll be back, and we haven't come back. He's probably thinking, this guy's not coming back. Come on, you got to go back, please.
I would love to go back. We just have a little bit further trip since we moved.
I know, but make a reservation. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Come on. You just had your anniversary. You had a reason to celebrate anyway.
Do we have a secret guest?
No, the secret guest is, you know what, we're being, and you have experience of this, of covering one of the toughest teams in sports to cover, the New England Patriots. Somebody said they were going to do an interview with you, and then they blew you off.
Tony and Elaine's. Outstanding. Go. It's in the North End. Next time you're at the Garden, concert, game, whatever it was. We had an outstanding time, terrific service. It's right there on the outside of the North End.
But yeah, you've been blown off by an athlete before, right?
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Okay, so we were blown off by some mystery guest.
Wow.
But we'll see if we can get him on the other side. This is Toucher and Hardy. And, we still got some good stuff here. We got the email bit. Hey, I know what we should do. I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. That's my intro. I love that one. And the stack. It's coming up next on 98.5 Sports Hub.
Ticket not punched.
Hardy.
No, the ticket's not punched.
Fred.
You got a bunch of stuff wrong when you talk. So much for this country.
Toucher and
I
Hardy.
guess this country's a bunch of buffoons that don't know the rules. You idiot.
The Sports Hub.
Let me tell you, I could drive around Boston just pumping this. I want the extended version, 8 minutes. Just keep pumping this. I love that thing so much. All right, the Toucher and Hardy email bit is powered by Jeffrey Glassman Injury Lawyers. If you've been hurt in a car or work accident, you got to get Glassman. Don't just send an email. Call all sevens at 617-777-7777 or visit gottagetglassman.com. All right, so the email bit. You got any emails?
So during the break, I told you I don't have any emails, so I'm going to go check Twitter. And we have some feedback for the little shenanigans that we were doing. But I have what I believe to be a Hall of Fame submission for the email bit.
Oh, Hall of Fame submission.
Of all time.
Okay, all right, let's go.
I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I will read the subject of this email that I got 4 days ago.
Okay.
Pitch for the Boston Herald, : I'm serving a life sentence for a murder I didn't commit.
Wow. And this person, that's the subject heading.
That's the subject.
That is, first of all, that person who is serving a life sentence has some storytelling ability. That's a nut graph. That's a hook. You have to read that, right?
There are 4 points, basically paragraphs, about the case, why they didn't do it, evidence it was misconstrued, what it's been like for life in prison. It's a whole thing. And clearly this is an email where, he didn't start with the Patriots beat reporter at the Boston Herald as his pathway to freedom. I'm not there to unlock it. So a lot of other people are getting that, which is to say that diffusion of responsibility is what kept me from even bothering to respond.
Right.
Not to mention of which, I don't know, a lawyer is more help than the guy who could break down cover 2 trap on a whiteboard.
I don't know. You give yourself a little bit more credit.
Here's the thing, though. He followed up yesterday. You get PR emails all the time.
All
and people
the time.
are pitching, do you want to interview so-and-so who's, working with Doritos? And Here was like that was a very long initial email, and I have his prisoner number. The follow-up was just simply, Andrew, would you like to chat? Warmly, and then the man's name. Warmly.
This is interesting. So
what do I do with this?
yes, you want to chat. Come on. You got to do it. You got to do it. Yes, you want to chat.
We'll call him up, and we'll have him judge our 98.5 Sports Up.
Was there a
teams?
Was there a compelling case made for why he didn't do it?
Yes, but I can't verify, to go back to the journalistic integrity, all
this information
being true. And it sounds like, reading on this, he's got parole eligibility beginning in a year and a half. 2.5 years.
All right, 2.5 years. Yeah, you're right. That is a Hall of Fame submission. And aren't you tempted? Don't you want to chat for a little bit? No, you're too busy. Come on, right now. 7 months?
So I was playing this out in my head when he followed up, and I'm like just trying to get through the morning feeding my 7-month-old mashed up bananas and peanut butter to see if she'll like take solid food.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot right now.
It is a lot. But like, what if someone asked you to help get their freedom? Right? What possible answer or excuse could be? No, I'm sorry, I can't do that.
No,
but it's a combination of I'm not equipped.
Right.
I just moved, just had a kid, been off work, going back to work. And like, this isn't my job and I don't know how. So like, you can count on my platform, of which I just gave him a giant one. So maybe this is me doing him the solid. But again, this is an email that came to me. Pitch for Boston Herald. I'm serving a life sentence for a murder I didn't commit.
That is a hell of a nut graph right there. That is it. That gets your attention. See, I would see if somebody said, okay, I need you to help me get my freedom. I would say, well, first of all, you got the wrong approach. I'm not going to help you get your freedom. I can listen and kind of consider all the information, but you can't say that I'm your key to freedom. I can't. Yeah, that's just too much pressure. And I have to go. And if they think, I'm not saying your writer is saying this, but if they think that you will take all the information, some reporters will, the bad ones. Some reporters will take all the information that they've been given, and then go right to air and say, yes, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this guy is being railroaded. Well, you got to confirm all that stuff. You got to check it to see if it's actually true. Now, that's a hell of an email. I got an email the other day that pales in comparison to that one. And we talked to Gary Washburn about this a bit, and he gave his take on it. And I guess I haven't even asked you yours, because the emailer was responding to this argument I had with Michael Felger, back to Felger, your teammate, your draft choice.
He's my subordinate in this case.
Oh, that's right. He works for you. He works for you. So Felger, as many of you know, is caught up in how the Celtics take too many threes. We know it. A lot of you agree with him. Right, fine. They take a bunch of threes. They do. It's annoying to watch, especially when the threes aren't going in. So that's one conversation. I think that he is kind of conflating that with, hey, they've got a better roster than the Knicks. And I told him they don't have a better roster than the Knicks. So the two things can be true. Like, they can kind of restrain their three-point attempts, and they could play better. They could be more efficient. But you can't look at a team that's won now 13 playoff games in a row that beat the Celtics last year when they had a better roster and beat them in 6 games, and then look at it and say, well, if the Celtics play better, well, they have a better roster than the Knicks. So we just went back and forth debating.
This was right after I left on Thursday.
Oh, yeah. We were going at it. I'm just like, how can you say? I just don't see how you can. Well, you'd rather have Jason Tatum. So you think Jalen Brunson's better than Jason? I didn't say that. Oh, so Jalen Brown's not that good? I didn't say that. I'm saying their roster, the Knicks roster, is better than the Celtics roster, and I think it's not even debatable at this point. It is.
No, it's not. Like, Derek White lost his three-point shot this year, and he would be your answer to who is the Celtics' third best player. When you're answering that for the Knicks, it's either Mikal Bridges or OG Anunoby. You could pick one or the other over Derek White or not, But the answer of who's the Celtics' fourth best player and who's the Knicks
Pritchard.
is OG Anunoby or Mikal Bridges way better than Peyton Pritchard.
You said way better?
Yeah, appreciably better.
I might give you better. I wouldn't say way better.
So if all the top three are similar enough, and then 4 through 8 are overwhelmingly for New York, which they are, as much as you might like Hugo Gonzalez, okay? Baylor Shireman made a big leap, but like there's just no serious basketball person that looks at the talent for the Knicks and the Celtics and doesn't think New York doesn't have more talent. We were getting to the point about just raw talent, ability.
Yeah.
At the end of the Sixers series with a healthy Embiid, which is the biggest literal if in basketball, him, Maxey, Edgecombe, and Paul George, they were pushing the Celtics talent gap. It was part of the Celtics strategy that maximized the talent that they did have available, which was the three-pointers. It was not turning the ball over, and it was crashing the boards from the corners to get extra possessions and then maximize those by taking additional threes. And like some of that was curbed because Keita is not a three-point shooter, so you're having 20% fewer people on the floor who can shoot, which wasn't the case when Horford or Porzingis was your center.
Yeah, all those guys. But those guys who can pop it.
The way that they had such a clean game, and what Philly did was take away the offensive boards or match you in that regard, and then you were hitting threes. But talent-wise, it's not. I mean, it's close, but it's really not between the Knicks and Celtics right now.
You know what? I wish I had thought of this in the moment. You know, you get into these debates, and we all do it on the various shows that we do. And then when you go home or you're driving, like, oh, wait a minute. You know, I should have said that. I should have said that. The irony here, because Felger is driven, he is fueled by the green teamer stuff. Oh, you green teamers, and where was all this? Why didn't you say this in March? The irony of his comment is that it is the ultimate green teamer comment, that the Celtics are better. That is a green teamer comment. That is, I love the Celtics so much, I'm not going to give the Knicks. Now, he's not coming from this perspective, but you can interpret it this way. I love the Celtics so much, I'm not going to give the Knicks credit. I don't care that they won 13 games in a row. I don't care that they're up 2-0 on the San Antonio Spurs from the so-called superior conference. The Celtics still have the better roster. It's that damn coach. That's some green teamer-ish right there.
It's just not serious basketball analysis.
That is not. They are not.
It's not.
They're not. So it's interesting to look at it that way. I don't think they're a coach away. I don't think the Celtics are good coaching. They're not good coaching decisions away from being back in the NBA Finals, and I hope they don't look at it that way.
No, the other problem is conflating just shot selection with the entire style of play, right? Like, what is pick and roll defense? It's just completely off the board. Or anything about rebounding or how you share the basketball. Like, it's just that thing, you get into the minutia and then realize there's nothing there, and you're like, okay, there's not a whole lot of debate to be had here. But look, the thing that makes this most relevant to the Celtics is that the Knicks just unlocked a new ceiling. This is the maximized version of this team. If this sticks around, even in the same neighborhood, if 90% of what you're seeing from the Knicks now is what the Celtics have to run into next season, they have a problem. And they've got time and resources to figure this out and a cleaner cap sheet. I don't want to hear, like you, about a multi-year plan. But, again, they have 5 shooters. They've got a dynamic big, a playmaking hub. They've got good defenders everywhere. They were built originally to beat you, and now they surpassed you. What can they do, the Celtics, to now close the gap on a team that has a winning record against you the last 2 years?
And the funny thing is they've unlocked it. And you know what I haven't heard I haven't paid attention to every single New York podcast or broadcast.
Well, thank God.
But I don't think, tell me about it. But I don't think I've heard a lot of credit going to Mike Brown. So have they unlocked it because of Mike Brown? Not
so nationally, he's getting a lot of love.
Is he? Is he? Okay.
He also comes off as a coach, though, that everyone has his number.
Yeah.
And that's smart to a degree. But he's like a nice guy, but he just might not get back to you all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, no, he is. No, interviewing-wise, he's great. Yeah, he is, and I think that's part of it too. Like he is very generous talking to reporters. But I'm not really sure. I know the coaching change. They made the coaching change, and I should be giving him more credit, Mike Brown. But it feels like something that's bigger than Mike Brown that's happening right now with the Knicks. It's just.
Can you put your finger on it?
Well, no, I can't. But maybe what it is the talent of these guys. Just they kind of figured it out together And Karl Anthony Towns, as you pointed out earlier, Karl Anthony Towns is at the top of the list because Brunson was always a shot maker. Brunson was always a difficult cover and a bad defender. Mikal Bridges had a great series last year against the Celtics, and those 20-point comeback games, his back-to-back comeback games. The guard, he was great defensively. He was great in the clincher in Game 6 in New York. So I think it's just all coming together. But Mike Brown is probably you've probably lost track of how many teams Mike Brown has coached. I might say this is like his fifth team. He coached Cleveland twice. He was the coach of the Cavaliers twice. He was a coach of the Lakers. He coached Kobe.
The Kings.
He coached the Kings. He's got. How
do the Kings feel watching Mike Brown on one sideline and De'Aaron Fox? Well, I'll say this though. Yeah. I said earlier in the show we didn't get to it, and that's fine. I wanted you to therapize me about liking this Knicks team, and I'm just going to say, I'm a little disgusted about how much Knicks love we've given in explaining the basketball so far here today in the show that I'm just going to go home with my self-loathing and accept it. I don't need to sift through any of these feelings more about this team, which I do like, and are a problem for the Celtics until they upgrade at center or build more depth, as Gary was talking about earlier in the show. But you know what? I'm leaving the shrink's office. I don't like how I feel about this, and I'm just going to sit with those feelings watching this Knicks team that is more likable than any New York team I've ever seen in my lifetime.
I'm a shrink who hasn't even helped you. I haven't even addressed. I haven't even
taking my money.
It. I'm just sitting there listening. I'm taking notes. I'm like, okay, see you next week.
You're drawing. It's what you're doing. You're doodling. Right. It's like opening up to you on
exactly.
the couch.
There's a triangle. Yeah. There's a square. There we go. Very good. Hey, we've got the stat coming up, and I guess the mystery guest has been located. We'll see if that guest shows up soon here on Toucher and Hardy.
We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
Toucher and Hardy with Michael Holley and Andrew Callahan. It's a big day here at the station. It's the Who's Your Caddy Classic taking place at Brook Meadow Country Club in Canton. We got a lot of people to thank for this broadcast, for this event. Bernardi Auto Group, Catches Law Group, Penn Golf, FootJoy, Yale Appliance, Boston Red Sox, the Boston Bruins Foundation, the Celtics, the Bruins, the Patriots, Golfers Warehouse, and, of course, Brook Meadow Country Club, where everything is taking place. Now, I say that because we've been talking about this special guest who kind of blew us off around 9 o'clock, but I think we have located this special guest. I don't know who it is. Special guest, reveal yourself. You're on the air. Who are you?
Michael Holley. It's Rob Hardy Pool, and I'm riding alongside Georgetown University golf star C.J. Winchenbaugh, who is pretty much 4 under on his own ball through 4 holes. So that's the report from the Who's Your Caddy Classic. Thanks for calling. No, you called me.
You wait a minute. First of all, not only did I call you, I drafted you. We had a draft team. We had a team of foursomes. We're coming up with our foursomes for golf and other sports. You were my number 2 draft pick, and Hardy. I told Andrew there were some political reasons for drafting you too. I mean, we like doing the show. You guys do pay. You do pay. So I mean, like, come on. I got to draft either you or Fred. So come on, it makes a lot of sense.
I appreciate it. I'm going to have to get more details on what being drafted to do, but I would question being drafted second in pretty much any draft ever. So I question your. I don't know. Maybe you had to miss an important day of the draft and you weren't fully prepared.
Day 3, but it's not that important. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Day 3 is not that important.
Holly also forgot that you were on his team briefly, along with the rest of the roster. So this is a really no pressure. Olympiad nice. Hardy.
That's nice.
Some have compared him to Rick Pitino, the GM, but look, we had, I'll see if you can name this quickly, a Sports Hub name who fell down the board due to character concerns, but is a very good golfer, who I grabbed after you in the 3rd round based on some of your advice. You said, he's better golfer than me.
Let's see. Fred, hold on a second. It's not Majori because he's got great character. Is it Felger?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That took 10 seconds.
But Majori's on
Yeah.
our team based on the recommendation of Ryan. Ryan says take Majori. He's the best golfer at the station, so I took him.
He's a stick, and Felger's very pissed at us right now because the young man who got the spot in our foursome due to the very charitable donation to Special Olympics
CJ
is CJ. He's an absolute stick. I mean, we're trying to put one in play for him, but he's doing it all himself.
I love it. Andrew has one question for you. I'm going to take his question. Who's the best dressed golfer down there? That's one. And then two, has anybody brought a cooler onto the course?
I haven't seen enough of the outfits to know I can tell you who it is not, and that's John Wallach. And speaking of coolers and John Wallach, no, I did not see any coolers.
All right, we'll keep us posted.
All right, guys, thanks.
Hey,
Thanks,
thank
buddy.
you. Good stuff down there. Good stuff. So this is a big day for the station. The Who's Your Caddy Classic, and we finally located our special guest, and it was my number 2 draft pick, Rob Hardy-Poole. All right, so Callahan,